Right, so wicked Dominic Raab is gone, castigated back to the backbenches. He'll still have his £84,000 a year MP's wage to console himself with, though. No chance he's going to vacate his seat unless voted out, so come on, Esher, come next year's general election. But that did, of course, mean a bit of a change in government as Raab vacated both the Ministry of Justice and also the post of Deputy Prime Minister. Taking over as Minister for Justice is Alex Chalk. Who? Well, indeed. Although in different years he went to the same posh private school Rishi Sunak did, Winchester College. So they're both Old Wykendians, simply a different flavour of Etonian. So all boys together, eh? He's a criminal barrister, so at least has some legal background, but then so did Dominic Raab, and look what happened there. He's held various junior ministerial posts, beginning during the pandemic, as it happens, when he became the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Justice under Boris Johnson in 2020, where his brief was basically legal aid, and he promptly did absolutely nothing in that time, and many legal aid lawyers credit him as the reason for the decline in that profession, unsupported during the time as they were, where many were unable to do their jobs, just as so many of us were in the same boat. He later became Prisons Minister, where he didn't do a great deal either, nor elsewhere he's been since. Defence procurement was where he last was, and the like. He's unremarkable, undistinguished, maybe out of his depth even for all we know in junior posts. But you can argue Sunak has promoted some new blood here, less tarnished than so many others at least, though still with that old school tie thinking that sees the worst people imaginable always seemingly promoted to do jobs they're utterly incapable of doing. You can draw the line at saying Sunak has promoted any discernible talent here. That's yet to be seen, given Chalk's invisibleness up until now. But of course, that means he also likely hasn't courted any controversy, at least not yet. And of course, above everything else, it's still yet another Tory running part of government. So, bleh. The new Deputy Prime Minister, however, is much better known. But again, not for any good reason. Raab's replacement here is the grinning idiot, Oliver Dowden. Amongst all of the scum of villainy that has come to exemplify the Tory party over the last decade or so, he's what floats to the top. He just has one of those faces that screams, the lights are on, but nobody's in. It's like somebody washed Wurzel Gummidge and gave him a shave. This is a charmlessly smarmy Waitrose queue-jumping type that shows the talent pool in the Tory party these days is as dry as a Jacob's cream cracker in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Dowden is probably best known for having been the patsy sent out to address the nation on that fateful afternoon during the pandemic, giving the daily update where he was urging people to not mix and not break social distancing rules, all whilst Johnson and co were planning and indeed preparing to attend a certain garden party you might have seen photographs of during the Partygate investigation. This is a guy who can and will say whatever he's told to, and do it all with that stupid grin on his face. This is a guy who wanted to keep Boris Johnson in post despite all of that. He's already Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster and hasn't stood aside from that role, nor the several hedge funds he apparently has consultancies for outside of Parliament. He's one of those boorish types who bleats about cancel culture obsessively, referring to it as woke psychodrama and that woke ideology is a dangerous form of decadence. Who knew just being politically aware of shitbag politicians behaving like shitbags was decadent? I'd argue that it is the politicians falling into a sense of moral and social decline, not those aware of the fact, Sunshine. He's a former officer of Conservative Friends of Israel. He's been described as a libertarian extremist, but that's a little bit exciting for Dowden, I fancy, with close links with the Heritage Foundation, the US-based think tank who are known climate change deniers, who are anti-LGBTQ plus rights, and very much anti-wealth redistribution, all notably conservative thinking. To get just a flavour of just how beige, bland and boring this blank sheet of paper of a man is, he enthuses about, of all things, privet hedges. Honestly, thank God he's only Deputy PM, because if he and Starmer ever clashed at PMQs, the nation might just fall into a national coma. But more notably than any of this, especially when it comes to the here and now, is that when he was Culture Secretary, he was the guy who signed off on the appointment of Tory donor Richard Sharp as the new BBC chairman. Yes. This, of course, is something that is now being investigated, since Sharp is, of course, a huge, long-time Tory party donor and was also the fixer for Boris Johnson to obtain an £800,000 personal loan. The report into how Sharp got that gig drops next week. Will that blow up under Dowden's arse, or just blow hot air up it? We don't have long to wait. To replace Raab, a nasty piece of work, Sunak is promoted to ostensibly nice guys here, both completely mediocre, never wants to rock the boat, loyal to the point of spinelessness, and proof that as long as you went to the right school or university, you'll always fall upwards in the Tory party. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated this video, please do hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell too so you don't miss the next one. Also, look out for me on social media and other interesting stuff by clicking on the Linktree link in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Cheers, folks.